All right, what is up? Welcome back to another amazing episode of How to Invest in Commercial Real Estate. And we're here.
What's up?
We're going to talk about the end of the year, right?
We are going to talk about the end of the year. So I think the end of the year is kind of fleeting, right? You have all of these holidays. I know my birthday's in the end of the year, so that kind of revolves around me.
Nobody gives a shit about your birthday.
I do.
You're a grown-ass man.
I like my birthday, man. And Thanksgiving and Christmas are like my favorite holidays. I don't know. Like, I'm busy literally until the end of the year. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
Literally every week.
It's started. It's already started. Middle of November through the end of the year. Everybody's busy.
Everyone's Christmas parties, like, oh, hey, all right, yeah. Love going. Anyway, okay, derailing.
We think people ought to take time to look at their finances between now and the end of the year, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you need to be asking yourself, not like in December, not on January 25th, not like, oh crap, it's Christmas, I need to file my taxes, or worse, like a lot of people, January 1st, the second week of January, like, oh crap, tax year's over. What do I do? If you want to be affecting change in this year's taxes, it needs to be done right now.
Yeah.
Right now, guys.
Yeah, so one thing we want to recommend is, or at least give this advice, is when you're investing in commercial real estate or if you're purchasing a property, even if you buy into the property in November or December, just a year, 1 month before the end of the year, you get a full year's depreciation that you can apply to your taxes. So we're trying to get 2 or 3 more deals out this year. If you have a chance to get into them, that'll allow you to maximize that depreciation before the end of the year.
Yeah, and actually, development deals, you can't maximize that as much because you obviously can't depreciate land and you can't depreciate costs that you haven't incurred. So you kind of have to wait till the building's done in a sense. But we are closing that deal in Henderson. So super excited about that deal. We'll be able to cost seg that and depreciate the crap out of that in Nevada. And again, everyone loves the tax write-off to Vegas. But anyway, when you're kind of approaching this time, you need to be emailing your CPA. You need to be saying, hey, here's kind of my investments that I've made this year. Here's, my bank statements or my financials kind of through September. Can you do some sort of, rough tax analysis of what you think I may be paying or getting refunded for this tax year? And it may take a little bit of time, and it's obviously not going to be completely accurate because the year's not over and it's just a forecast, but you have a decent amount of data there. I know we're in the middle of doing that right now just to see if we can affect any change in this tax year, right? Because after the accountant CPA sits on it for like a month, you may have a month left. And I know most people's ridiculous reason is, going and buying a truck or God, another truck.
Well, I mean, that could still be part of the strategy. If they're going to have a big tax bill, it could be part of the strategy. But the thing is, you're not going to know what you need to do unless you're getting with your CPA and you're lining up all the investments and all of the potential K-1s like that we're going to be sending and all of that and seeing, okay, what is the tax liability going to be come next year? And is there anything that I can do in the next month and a half in order to reduce that? Because once you pay those taxes, they're gone forever. So if there's anything you can do to hold them off another year, or put them into the future, then that money can be invested or can earn you interest in the meantime, and it'll be better than just giving it over to the government.
Yeah, and speaking of K1s for next year, I know a lot of our investors have kind of stayed in touch with us throughout this year on our ability to hire a CFO, and I'm proud to report that we have finally got our new CFO, Jim Taylor. He's been with us for a few weeks now, so we're excited to have him on the team, and having this position has already helped exponentially, but I can tell you it will definitely help with K1s for next year because Jim's first order of business, our new CFO, was getting our tax prep, our kind of financial review that we're talking about right now done for us, so we can have all of that information over to our CPAs faster so we can get our K1s out faster. That's a massive priority for us
just
this
to let
year.
people know, we sent the financial information last week or this week. And that's in preparation of the K1s. And then at the end of the year, we can get the rest of the information to them, and K1s should be out.
So can we guarantee our investors that they're not going to have to wait until summertime to get the K1s this next year?
I can guarantee that it won't be summertime. That's the guarantee I'll make.
Okay. And so for any investors that invest with Precision Equity, I believe that we get all of ours out before April 1st. And that's the goal. So then they have a couple weeks to get their taxes finalized for April 15th. And I hope that Criterion can do the same.
You and me both.
All right. And so the next thing we want to talk about is we have gotten into a lot of positions, and we have a lot of investors invested in a lot of deals, and a ton of those are going to be exiting next year, which is going to be exciting. We want to tell you that because we want to help everybody plan. As these exit, you're going to be getting your cash and you're going to be getting profit. And so if you don't get that profit and that cash reinvested in order to start getting more depreciation, then you're going to have a huge tax bill come at the end of next year. And so, we wrote down several of them that we think are going to exit next year. Just to, for all the investors that are listening, if you hear one of the deals you're in, make sure you're thinking, okay, I invested $100,000. They're going to give me back 150, 170 grand on that deal. Maybe you're invested in 2 or 3. You need to be thinking, I need to be able to get that money placed before December 31st of next year in order to reduce that tax bill.
Yeah. So we made a list. We've got 11 on the list that we think will sell in 2024. So why don't I go through here? Braden, why don't you just give a 1-minute summary on each one?
Or tenants or...
Yeah, 30 seconds maybe.
Yeah, 30 seconds maybe. So number 1, Burleson.
Yeah, so this is a ground lease and a multi-tenant strip center. The ground lease is Hawaiian Brothers, and there's a bunch of other tenants in the multi-tenant strip center. Right now, the buildings have been demoed. Those buildings contain asbestos. There's a mandatory waiting period before we can go vertical on construction. But we should be going vertical literally any day now. That asset will be done and complete next year and should be on the market end of Q3, maybe Q4. So this one will definitely be towards the end of next year.
Okay. All right. Princeton.
This is 6 different pad sites. We've got Chipotle that we're delivering now. Should easily be on the market in Q1, if not before the end of the year. There's a 7 brew ground lease should be on the market in Q1 of next year. There's a Salad and Go ground lease that should be on the market in Q1 of next year. There's a pad site that is in contract to sell, should close early next year. I'm not sure exactly when. And then the 2 build-to-suits, the Fat Burger and the Learning Experience, should break ground right at the turn of the year and should be done and complete to be on the market by end of Q3, beginning of Q4 next year.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And both of those are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, right? Burleson and Princeton.
Princeton's 20 minutes east of McKinney, which is 40 minutes north of Dallas.
And Burleson is just about 20 minutes south of Fort Worth.
Yep.
All right, and then 2 in Owasso, Smith Farm 1, Smith Farm 2.
Yeah, Smith Farm 1 is done. Salad goes to open the multi-tenant retail strip center. The tenants are in their build-out phase. Most of them have rent commencement early next year. Both of those listings are signed. Salad Go is actually on the market. The multi-tenant strip, we had Mod Pizza back out. They're honoring their lease. They just asked us to re-tenant it. So it's fine for us operationally. It'll just ding us on the exit. So we're trying to re-tenant that. But overall, both those assets wouldn't surprise me if they were sold or in contract to be sold in Q1. The second one, right? So Salad Go, multi-tenant strip. Then we have Chipotle. That wasn't us. The other side of that is our build-to-suit Picklemans. That is almost done. We're about to turn it over to the tenant for the tenant improvements here in about a month. They'll have it for 60 to 90 days and should be open at the end of Q1 next year. But yeah, that will be on the market end of Q1 next year, beginning of Q2. And then the ground lease we delivered over to Taco Casa, same exact thing, should be on the market end of Q1, beginning of Q2 next year.
Okay, great. Ring Creek, another Dallas-Fort Worth area project.
Yeah, this is infill Dallas, kind of around Arlington, closer to Dallas. But anyway, it is a build-to-suit Starbucks and a multi-tenant strip center with Shipley's Donuts, which we actually had the pleasure of going in one for the first time in Jacksonville. So that was a cool concept. Donut shop similar to a Krispy Kreme or something with coffee. There's a liquor store, a smoke shop, and I believe a Verizon or an AT&T. Construction is underway. We have been working on the grading and the civil stuff, utilities for the past several months. Now we're starting to go vertical. This is right across the street from a QT, Quick Trip, and a massive highway. We're actually buying some more land right around the corner, I believe.
Okay. Nucky's Hoagies. Where's Nucky's Hoagies? I can't remember.
Nucky's Hoagies is actually in the Princeton development group.
Oh, okay.
Different pad. So this is all predicated on the 70,000 square foot grocer kind of being built behind us. Nucky's Hoagies was funded a couple months ago. We're about to close the construction loan here in a couple weeks with the Bank of Kremlin. They did the Marine Creek loan for us too. They're actually based out of Enid. They've been great to work with actually. Anyway, that should break ground, end of the year, maybe January, maybe a little sooner, probably 6 months to go up. I would expect it to be on the market end of Q3, beginning of Q4 next year.
Okay. 2 in Nevada, the Perfect Auto and the Carson City gas station.
Perfect Auto is probably going to be on the market today.
Nice.
Yeah, because Perfect Auto is going to be listed immediately. If it sells before the end of the year, that would actually, I mean, I'd like to have it, depreciated.
We're not going to sell it before the end of the year.
Yeah, I'd like to have
the
it depreciated
depreciation
this year.
and then when it sells and we get capital gains tax, I want that to not be due until the first quarter of 2025.
Exactly. So we'll push for that. So that's a great little deal. We re-tenanted it, already signed the listing agreement. So we'll sell that Q1 of next year. We think maybe Q2. The Carson City gas station will close on at the end of this year, right? So we haven't closed on it yet. We're raising money for it now. It's a super low equity raise, so we probably aren't launching it. Now is a good time to say if you want involved in that deal, just like call us, email us, whatever, get in touch with us. We're not going to launch it. Anyway, that is a ground lease to a gas station. So that gas station owns all of their other sites. They have a right of first refusal to buy it, and then we can take it out to market. So we think that'll sell really quick as well. Q2, Q3 of next year, probably.
Yeah. Okay. What about the Slidell, Louisiana pads? How many do we have? 3 pads there?
3 or 4, depending on the user.
Interest. Yeah, right.
Right now, we've got 3 that have interest, and we've got 1 PSA for a purchase, maybe 2 for a purchase. Right, the car wash and O'Reilly's are wanting to buy, and then the ground lease is from Take 5, the oil change concept, not the car wash. We countered that. We were pretty close, so I think we'll get a deal done there. The thing is, they have like 180-day contingency periods. I think O'Reilly was even longer. So we won't know until a decent amount into next year. And that's really the biggest challenges we're facing with vetting these opportunities is the upfront timeline to get them vetted. O'Reilly's is a great operator. It's got a decent sale price, but like to string us along for 6 months before we even know, you almost need a premium on that. So I don't know. We're negotiating those out, but a lot of 1 or 2 of those pad sites, if it sold next year, would not surprise me at all.
And as those pad sites sell, we'll be releasing funds to investors, right?
Yes, it will be a return of capital, not a return on capital.
We probably need to just preface that with we're not sure how much the lender is going to keep, or did they say they're going to let us sell them?
This one is a home run. So we actually got this appraised. We purposely carved out the pads from the appraisal, and
nice.
Louisiana National Bank said we could keep all the proceeds from it. I believe we got it in writing.
Yeah. That's great.
This was one of those things. Sometimes you get what you ask for, and Andy asks for amazing things. So pat on the back to Andy for getting that done for us.
Okay, next one, Grand Prairie Learning Experience.
We should break ground on that. End of the year, beginning of next year, we're probably 8 or 9 months up, and then we can get it on the market next year. So if it sells next year, it would be great, but it would be tight. Could sell next year. Same thing with the Children of America.
Yeah, that's the last one in Fort Worth.
Yeah, and that's an upcoming closing. That's probably the next deal we're launching out to the investor list. So, we just closed Perfect Auto, didn't launch that one, unfortunately. Carson City Gas, we're kind of like behind the scenes fundraising right now. If you want involved, hit us up. Super small equity raise. The Children of America in Fort Worth is closing December 11th. So you'll probably see marketing materials, legal docs come out on that in the next week or 2. And then the last thing we're closing this year is, if you follow us on Instagram, you probably saw this amazing site that we toured in Jacksonville. I know we shared it on the podcast last week, but that site's going to be a home run. I think we're closing that towards the end of the year. Again, we're probably 8 months up out of the ground. I believe we are fully entitled. I believe we even have all of our permits by everything Austin was telling us last week at the site. So 8 months up, that Starbucks could be on the market Q3 of next year. It's a tax-free state. It's Jacksonville, Florida, which I'm kind of regurgitating this, but Jacksonville, Florida, I was told the main interest in Jacksonville is just like one of the largest cities by landmass in the entire United States. Fun facts no one shares. So I'll have to do some research on that and fact check it. We'll have to remember to bring it up next week.
So this, putting you on the spot here, and there's no telling how many like Slidell pads would sell. Any idea all these sell in 2024, what the total amount would be?
Toss me the list. All right, Penn.
All right, while he's adding that up, I want to talk a little bit about, Braden mentioned like the Carson City deal. We're not launching. We're just going to privately place the funds with investors that have already let us know that they are going to invest. And so that brings me to the point that I wanted to talk about today is we're trying to plan ahead for next year. You see all the stuff we have going on, and we're getting more and more investors on the list, and we don't really have visibility on how many of these people want to invest and how much they can invest. And so what I would suggest is, if you want to make sure that you get into deals, we'd love for you to hit us up and just tell us, hey, I'm interested in investing on the next deal or on one of the next deals, and I have X amount of dollars to invest. How that will help us is, let's say we have a few hundred people that are on our list, but they've never said they want to invest. They're just waiting for the deal to come out, and then they push the button that says invest. Well, the problem with that is that we'll put out a deal, and if we have 50 people or 100 people say they're going to invest, we can't get everybody in, and then we end up disappointing a bunch of people. And we don't have visibility to how much funds are out there that want to get into these deals. And so if you are interested in investing, let us know that. Hey, I'm going to get in one of these next deals. Okay, now we know we've got the number of investors. But the next thing we need is for you to tell us, hey, I've got $300,000 in the next year that I want to get into real estate. And maybe that's 3 deals, maybe it's 5 deals. That doesn't matter. We're just trying to get a handle on how much capital that is out there that wants in these deals, so that we can go and try to find deals that fit that capital stack. And so it'd be really helpful if you guys want to do that, and it'll help us go find the appropriate deals where we disappoint less investors and we're not having people fight over getting in these deals. Because our challenge is, do we chase that $20 million deal? It's got a $4 million equity raise. What if we can't raise it?
And we're going to spend 6 months of time and maybe $100,000.
Yeah, it's expensive to chase the stuff. And so what we typically end up doing, because we don't have the visibility that I'm talking about, is that we end up getting smaller deals that we know we're going to fill. So then our time hasn't been wasted. Our upfront money hasn't been wasted. But once again, it leaves a lot of people out of deals. And so that's why I'm saying that this could help us. So if you're a podcast watcher, if you're on our investor list, shoot us a note and just say, hey, I'm definitely going to invest in 2024. And, I'd like to get into 3 deals, and I'd like to put $50,000 into each deal. Great. Mm-hmm. There's zero obligation to do that. I mean, even if you told us that you were interested and you had that much money, but you didn't invest any money in 2024, that's still fine. It doesn't hurt, though, to just go ahead and say what your objective is. That way we can plan accordingly and try to get as many people involved in commercial real estate as possible.
Yeah, and there could be some people out there that have decided they've been investing with us for a while, and they just say, okay, I want $25,000 on every deal. I don't want to miss one, so just put me down. Just know that I'm going to be in for 25 or 30 or whatever, and then they don't have to worry about whether they make it or not, right?
Right. That's a great plan, and I'll use ourselves as an example. You guys, we do this, okay? Braden knows that Ryan and I are putting $50,000 minimum in every deal that we do. Now, some deals, I may say I want to put 200 in, but as a standard, we're all putting in roughly 50,000 in a deal. So that means that 150 is just gone right from the start of some of these, and sometimes equity raise is only 500,000. So 35-40% could be gone right at the beginning. So yeah, if you guys want to do that, then we can add up. Then we know, okay, every deal we do, we got $500,000 lined up. We need to find bigger deals, or we need to find more deals.
Yeah. And it never fails. The $25,000 investor on every single deal, and then you send him the next deal, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take 400,000." Of course you will. Geez, you just messed up everything. But thank you. I'll take it. But everyone else, that sucks.
All right. Last thing for today, because we got to get out of here, is that in the next week or two, we're going to be doing a cold plunge podcast. And so you guys are not going to want to miss that episode. We're going to be talking about the benefits of doing the cold plunge and go ahead.
We're also waiting for it to get colder because Braden, it's not cold enough yet. It's 70 degrees today. We would have done it today, but it's 70. Yeah. Pool temperature's what? 60 still.
Yeah, mine's upper 50s, but we would love it to get down into the 50, even 40s, just to make it as painful as possible. So anyway, stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Okay. And Braden, what'd you come up with on the total amount there?
Yes. So big disparity here, back the napkin math, but somewhere in the range of $60 to $70 million we could easily exit next year.
Nice.
Yep.
Now the problem is going to be that's going to give people roughly 150% of their equity back that we're going to have to turn around and place. Yep. So we're going to be really busy next year. We may have to think outside the box and find some bigger opportunities where we can handle some of that equity.
Yeah, I think next year is a big question mark. I mean, not only for us, but for a lot of people, right? We've got a lot of stuff we can exit next year. We've got a massive pipeline, at least through the end of the second quarter next year, of just acquisitions we've been targeting. Interest rates are a big question mark. Inflation, jobs are a big question mark. Next year's an election cycle. So yeah.
Brian could die. I mean, we got a plan for all of it.
It's the most plausible thing you could have said. That's not even like... Okay, we'll see you guys next week on how to invest in commercial real estate.
See ya.